Just telling us inside about after that first period, the key was simplifying the game, going more north-south. Is that how this game was won?
Yeah, that honestly, when you come back from the East Coast like that, and you have a day off. Day off starts at 3:30 in the morning when you get in. It's one of those things that teams don't realize that don't play in the West Coast. You are, as a coach, you're a little bit worried about just there's an internal timing mechanism that's off, right? So we're playing at 7 o'clock, but it's really 10 o'clock where we just came from. So I was worried about the start of the game, there being a little bit of sloppiness and sluggishness, but to their credit, they responded to the messages. We played more of a direct game, north-south, and we started getting our legs. Our legs started to come alive, and I thought it allowed us to get a little bit, not a lot more tight gaps on the puck.
Jackson kind of delivered the dagger, that very confident play. We saw him last year make some pretty tentative plays, and this year really come up in that way. What have you seen year over year for him in terms of, I guess, his presence, his strength, whatever it may be?
He's confident. He's an athlete. He's a good athlete. I said in the past, I'm good friends with his coach at Minnesota, who had promised me that he was going to be a heck of a player. I think he was well written about him in favor on the same team, and Jackson ran the first power play, and those guys are getting paid to win, and that's a decision he made based upon Jackson's talent. So last year I think he was dipped his toe in the water. That was what he did at Minnesota his freshman year, and this is like his sophomore year, and he's just taken off.
The Strome line, you've relied on them a lot over the season and last season as well. What did you like about the way that they played tonight?
They started us. They got us going just by putting the puck deep, getting it back. I mean, obviously Troy's a puck carrier, right? He likes the puck in the stick. But if you notice, there's many times during the game, particularly in the second and third period, he just pitched it in, and they went and got it back. And they had a couple offensive zone shifts in the second period that allowed us to get a lot of energy.
Despite not every line got on the score sheet, but it felt like you were getting contributions from all four lines tonight. Did you feel like that was the case?
Yeah.
You kept this 11-12 game stretch a really good play going through that two-week break. How hard was that to maintain when you're away from competition and come back at roughly the same level of results, whether the performance is the same?
I think the good news is everybody was dealing with the same break. There's a little bit of mystery of what happens in terms of the conditioning and what their diet's like when they're gone all that time. I was really, kind of curious how they were going to play in Boston. I thought our first period in Boston was one of the best periods we had all year. I do think we hit a little bit of a wall in Buffalo in that third period, whether it's a lack of energy or whatever was going on just with their bodies. We didn't have a lot of legs. And again, like I said earlier, I was a little bit concerned about the first period tonight, but this team has resiliency. They bounce back. We get down goals. Detroit were down 4-1. Not many teams are coming back from that deficit, but there's a lot of belief in the room. The leadership group has done a tremendous job just mentoring the young kids. And I think when you win like that and you've got that leadership in front of you, it creates a lot of confidence with the group.
Nick Tavish on the wing again tonight. What have you liked about him on the flank? Obviously a couple of assists, a real nice one on Strome.
You know what, he's got less skating to do, and when you're playing wing, you go basically top of the circles to the goal line. In some ways, less thinking. As a centerman, you've got to be responsible for all three zones. You're kind of the quarterback in the D zone, you're the quarterback in the offensive zone. And I think as a young kid like that, it takes some pressure off him, and I think he enjoys it. He's built for wall battles. He's a big, thick kid, so I think it's part of his DNA to win those battles, whether it's a breakout battle or keeping pucks in deep on a forecheck. So it suits him good.
Is there a little extra satisfaction for beating a Pacific Division team?
Well, the big thing is it's a 4-point game, right? They're ahead of us, and I think they were 8 points ahead of us before the game, and now it's a 6-point game. So, all these games, in our division, are critical, particularly when you're playing the teams ahead of you.
Sam Colangelo's third time up this season. What did you see from him in his first game back?
I thought he skated better. I really did. I mean, I noticed him, driving his legs and getting it on the forecheck and being physical. And I know when I had talked to Matt earlier, I texted Matt in San Diego back and forth, and he had said they've been working on that. It's just his aggressiveness skating, like skating aggressively and not being measured. And I thought that was visible tonight.
We've spoken about it a few times this season, but Luke Ostostal gives up those 2 early goals, but then after it felt like he really settled things down and kept things calm for the team.
He was terrific. Like I said before, goalies are game managers, and I thought he managed the puck well, and he took the whistle when he had to, and he made the big saves when he needed to. And he's probably been our best player, him and Gibby, the entire year.
All right, thanks, Greg.
For sure.